2015 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful California day, and I want to thank you for tuning in, subscribing, sharing, and liking my YouTube channel and my podcasts, and as well as for your support on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison, Astrology and Tarot. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you for choosing me to read for you. I appreciate the support, as this is my business, and I'm really excited about what I do, and I love reading for you all. So thank you again for choosing me. We have some really beautiful energy this month and a lot going on. And let's start with the transit of Venus at the top of the month on the 8th of October. Venus will finally exit Leo after a 4-month stay and a retrograde in Leo, and enters Virgo through the 8th of November. This is a beautiful placement for partnership and relationship energy because Virgo rules your 7th house, your polar opposite sign on the astrological wheel. Venus is love. Venus is money. And 7th house, for those of you who are not married or aren't looking for a relationship right now, this is great for business partnership, the 7th house of the others, the business partner. And for those of you who are looking for relationships and don't have one right now, spectacular energy for drawing in the soulmate. This might take a more serious nature than just dating, because the 7th house is not like the 5th house of romance. The 7th house is commitment and monogamy. So we like Venus there. And for those of you in business partnerships or running your own business, looking for someone to take on that responsibility with you, Venus is money. And you could find that you are guided in the right direction when it comes to a business partnership throughout that transit through the 8th of November. On the 9th, a day later, Mercury finally goes direct at 0 degrees of Libra. He officially clears his shadow on the 24th of October at the 15-degree mark of Libra, where he retrograded. But technically, the 9th, he is direct and moving slowly forward, so smoother sailing in the communication sectors of with your 8th house of intimacy and your 8th house of shared resources. I'm not sure how the retrograde affected each and every one of you individually, but some of you might have had problems getting loans or investors at that time. But now this can go smooth sailing. Mercury in Libra likes a balance, and because of Libra being balance and justice in the tarot, there is an even yes and no energy with this. So take action now that he's direct if you're looking for loans and where to put your finances at this time, shared resources, what plans and systems, banking systems work well for you at this time, and also your intimacies. Your personal, sexual, and intimate relationships will run smoothly now that Mercury is direct in that sector for you. On the 11th, we have an aspect that I wanted to talk about, and that is Jupiter, stationed in Virgo, will trine Pluto at an exact 13 degrees. Pluto is in Capricorn and has been for several years. And this energy lasts throughout the entire rest of the month and even into November, from the 11th of October on. And Jupiter being in Virgo, this impacts your 7th and 11th house. So Virgo, the polar opposite sign where Venus is for you, Jupiter next to Venus will also have Mars join them. And Mars and Jupiter are doing this connection energy, the 7th house of relationship and the 11th house of goals and wishes and friendships and social clubs and organizations. There's a lot of energy for commitment in the groups that you're affiliated with. Or you could find that friends turn to lovers, or something's very seriously, harmoniously grounding the two of you together in this earth trine energy, grounding, stability. But if you're looking for romance, it's great to join clubs and to get out there socially, which is the 11th house. Because Venus and Mars, also in Virgo, next to Jupiter, conjunct, are trining at an exact 13 degrees through the end of the month. And our new moon on the 12th of October is at 19 degrees of Libra next to Mercury in the 8th house of intimacies. So set your intentions if you're wanting a new relationship, or if you want newness within the relationship that already exists. Perfect new moon on the 12th for the 8th house of intimate connections, sex and sexuality. Shared resources if you're looking for new investors or new ways to handle your money, I want to say. New types of money structures, new loans, a new 401k, a new IRA, a new place to do things with your money. New investments, period. New purchases of property, a new property. And possibly inheritance energy. For those of you, the 8th house is also death. So for those of you who have recently lost someone, my heart goes out to you. There could be money coming in from this experience. The 8th house of inheritance and wills and estates is triggered on the 12th. On the 15th and 16th, Mars officially joins Jupiter at that 13-degree trine in between the 7th and 11th house for you. Please watch your ascendant sign. It's very, very accurate for your natal charts. If you're blessed enough to know the time of your birth, you want to check out your rising sign for transits, because it's more accurate than the solar forecast for the degrees. On the 17th, Mars joins Jupiter at the 14-degree mark. So they're going back and forth into these little degrees together. There's a theme with them. Mars is stamina and energy, and Jupiter is expansion. So Mars is like this younger little brother or cousin that's like telling big jovial Santa Claus Jupiter, listen, we've got work to do. We're gonna make these things happen in the relationship sector. This is great, Pisces, for those of you who are in relationships, who are married, and being social. And it's also great for people looking for love, looking for that partner. Now on the 19th, the moon joins Pluto. The moon enters Capricorn. For this 13-degree trine, Mars will be at 15 degrees, Jupiter will be at 14 degrees of Virgo, and Venus will be at 9 degrees of Virgo. But this trine is on between Jupiter and Pluto. So there's luck in the relationship sector for you, Pisces. It's really hard and intense luck, because Pluto is deep-seated intensity and a yearning. So the moon is intuition combined with the intensity. You could be inspired on the 19th intuitively, instinctually, where you need to meet this person, where you should head out to, what social area do you need to join at that day, because love is waiting for you, for those of you who are ready for it and looking for it. The sun enters Scorpio on the 23rd, like he does every year. And this will shine all loving energy into your 9th house of far, long-distance travel and education and spirituality and all things higher knowledge, the higher learning, the metaphysical energies as well are inspired. And that will last for 30 days. So take advantage of long-distance travel now that Mercury is direct and clears his shadow around the same day in the evening of the 23rd. Beautiful time to plan a trip abroad or a trip out of your country. On the 27th, there is a full moon, and it's a supermoon, and this is the last supermoon we'll have of 2015. Our next supermoon is in April of 2016, and this full moon is at 3 degrees of Taurus, igniting a grand Earth trine. Virgo is in Jupiter, Pluto's in Capricorn, as well as Mars and Venus are in Jupiter. But this full moon being in Taurus, there it is, the grand Earth trine on the 27th on the supermoon. Beautiful day for the 3rd house of communications and local neighborhoods and local travel, and the 7th house and 11th house again, where Capricorn and Virgo are impeded for you. So the 3rd, 7th, and 11th houses. This is beautiful for contacts, being able to communicate smoothly with meeting someone new. Beautiful day for a engagement or making something final in your relationship. Excuse me. A lot of people like to get married on the full moon because it looks good in photographs, although it's best to get married around a new moon because the full moon does bring the closure and the awareness. But with this energy, it's actually very grounding. The earth signs symbolize stability. It's not like the fire trine we were experiencing last year. This is very stable energy. And now there's also another spectacular trine, but in another element of water. On the last day, Halloween, on Samhain, on the 31st of October, after the sun enters Scorpio on the 23rd, that will ignite a trine eventually, a few days later, with Neptune, that's stationed in Pisces. And Neptune is about at the 8 to 9 degree mark of Pisces, 9 degrees. And on the 31st, the moon will enter Cancer. The moon transits very rapidly, every 2.5 days or so, 2 to 3 days. So that's our quickest transit in astrology. So when the moon, oh, that breeze feels so nice right now because it's super hot out here. When the moon enters Cancer, that will impact your 5th house of romance, intuitive romance, and the house of children and luck, and fun, and pleasure, and games, and leisure. We love the 5th house, naturally ruled by Leo on the solar wheel. But for you, Pisces, the moon will be entering your 5th house, where you hold Cancer. And Neptune is stationed in Pisces, and the sun in Scorpio. So this is the 1st, 5th, and 9th house for you. The 1st house of self, where you hold Neptune, your ruling planet. So you will be trined in this solar 1st house. Now, a lot of Pisceans have some nebulous energy with them, and they're not really as clear as they feel they might be, because Neptune is sitting in your 1st house. It's a very dreamy planet. It's a beautiful musical planet. It has its absolute positive influences as well. And in this trine, though, on the last day, this is such a psychic, watery realm of energy. And it's a beautiful day for you to travel. The last week of October is spectacular for you. So we go right from the grand Earth trine on the 27th, right to a real quick grand water trine because of the moon, because the moon is so speedy. I am using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, simple crisscross design on the back. I wanted to pay homage to Pamela Coleman Smith, who is the artist and illustrator of this deck. I purchased this in New Orleans, this Rider-Waite deck, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about Pamela because this story struck me raw to the bone. I want to give her some respect that she is due for this deck. She was born on February 16th, 1878. She was born in London, and she studied in Brooklyn at the Pratt Institute of Theater and Artistry. And she traveled between London and Brooklyn and Kingston, Jamaica. And she was a healer, and she was a mystic and an artist. And she entered the Order of the Golden Dawn, which was really influenced by Aleister Crowley and a lot of the mystics that were doing work way back in the early 1900s. So in 1903, she joined the Order of the Golden Dawn. And in 1909, under the guidance of Arthur Waite, created these 78 depictions on this deck. And I wanted to read a passage about this because she took this job for just a token of payment. And this deck has touched the hands of thousands, if not millions, of readers around the world. And this touched me when it said, despite the occasional art shows, Pamela received favorable reviews by critics, but continued slow sales of her works and rejections continually by commercial publishers left her deeply disappointed. She never married, and she had no children or no heirs except for an elderly female companion who shared her flat. And she died on September 18th of 1951, penniless and obscure. There was no funeral procession to honor her life. There was no memorial service to touch upon the impact of her work that would one day have upon her admirers. She died disappointed that her paintings and writings failed to achieve success, yet she stopped she never stopped believing in herself. I feel like they might have assumed her feelings at that time. But I have to read this. I have to continue. Pamela Coleman Smith would all but be forgotten except for the 78 tarot paintings known as the Rider-Waite deck. She would no doubt be astonished and gladdened to know that today the deck touches the hearts and emotions of millions of people. So today is the day she's passed, and I just am using this deck, and let's see what this deck has in store for Pisces for October. And if you'd like to read with me, Pisces, I read all through the week, and you can reach me at Audrey Alison, Astrology and Tarot, to book your reading. I'm also appearing again on October 15th, live on the radio at Goddess Alive Radio. Be taking callers live for an hour, and there'll be more instructions on that on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison, Astrology and Tarot. So let's see what these cards have to say for Pisces for the month. The Nine of Swords. Okay, so for those of you Pisces who are sleepless and find yourself worried at night, please know that this second half of this month, this trine, will be really going into effect. And if you're lonely, if you don't have a relationship, this will work in your benefit. You don't have to be sad at night because everyone is alone, even if they're in a relationship. Okay, the relationship you need to focus on in life is the one with yourself. And the Mercury retrograde, the swords, the air energy of this card, could be affecting Pisces in a big way at the top of the month before Mercury goes direct on the 9th. However, clearing his shadow on the 24th. The Emperor. This is when Mars, this is the sign of Aries, the Mars planet. When Mars joins Jupiter in that trine to Pluto, you're getting what you need in a very direct way. You become your own authority, and perhaps you need to go out and get that relationship and be social. The Emperor takes action, okay? The 11th house of social clubs and groups and organizations and friendships, and the Emperor is the opposite of the Hermit. Get out, take action, be direct, say what it is you want, claim your relationship. The Seven of Cups. This energy is very intuitive. It has to do with the water trine. It's having all of the tools that you need already to establish happiness and establish relationship. It's also psychic guidance and the watery realms of Halloween, of the 31st. Pisces, you have to get out on that day. You're the water sign involved in that water trine. The Two of Swords. I love this card. The artistry on this, they have never changed. Her depictions have never been altered. Some decks have them a little brighter in color than others, but this is her work. This is Pamela Coleman Smith's work, and this card is the opposition and maybe the choice between two people, the choice between two lovers, or the decision you need to make in order to obtain peace as opposed to some suffering that you might be experiencing. Now, you are in control. Okay, no one's running the show but you. And Mars and Jupiter and Venus in Virgo are going to help you in your romance. And I'm focused on the romance right now because your 7th house is so impacted for October. So if there is opposition, or maybe you're in a little bit of competition with another person in order to get that true heart's desire, know this. You don't have to fight for anything that isn't already yours. And that's not coming from me. If it's meant to be yours, it's yours, and there is no competitions, because thoroughbreds don't run races with fillies. Okay? Hey! All right, Pisces. Thank you so much for joining me and for listening to this forecast. I appreciate your support and your donations as well. And thank you for choosing me to read for you. And remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.